Hello and good night. Welcome to another bedtime story. This story is meant to help you sleep or to relax your mind. Try and find a comfortable place, such as your bed or a soft chair. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes now. Try and let go of the day as we begin our tale. Tonight's story is The Wishing Table. Once upon a time, in a quiet village, nestled between rolling green hills and dense whispering woods, there lived an old tailor with 3 sons. The tailor was a hard-working man, but times had been hard and his business was failing. His sons, Paul, Vincent and August, were strong and capable, and though they loved their father, they knew they must go out into the world to seek their fortunes. One crisp morning, the tailor called his sons to him and said, "My dear boys, I have nothing left to give you but my blessing. Go forth into the world, learn a trade, and may fortune favor you." And so, the 3 brothers set off, each taking a different road. Paul, the eldest, found work as an apprentice to a kind old carpenter. He worked diligently, learning to carve wood so finely that it seemed to breathe beneath his fingers. His master, seeing his dedication, grew fond of him and, after 3 years, said, "Paul, you have served me well. In return, I give you this table." Paul looked at the table. It was small and simple, made of sturdy oak. He furrowed his brow, unsure of its value, but his master smiled and whispered, "This is no ordinary table. Simply say, 'Table, be set,' and it will cover itself with the finest feast you could ever wish for. And when you are done, simply say, 'Table, be clear,' and the table will be cleared." Astonished, Paul tested it at once. No sooner had he spoken the words than the table shimmered and filled with golden platters, fragrant meats, steaming bread, and goblets of the richest wine. Overjoyed, Paul thanked his master and set off for home, eager to share his fortune with his father and brothers. On the last evening of his journey, he stopped at an inn for the night. The innkeeper was a greedy, dishonest man. He was in the habit of spying on his customers and, if possible, stealing their wealth. As he watched, through a chink in the door of Paul's bedchamber, he saw him set down the table, heard him say the words, "Table, be set," and saw the magic table immediately fill up with the most delicious feast. With open mouth he watched Paul enjoy the meal and then say, "Table, be clear." He vowed to himself that he would have the magic table, and that night, while Paul slept, the innkeeper replaced the enchanted table with an ordinary one. The next day, Paul arrived home, beaming with pride. "Father, I have returned, and look at this wondrous gift." He placed the table before them and declared, "Table, be set." But nothing happened. Paul was bewildered. His father sighed, believing his son had been tricked, and sorrow filled their home once more. Meanwhile, Vincent, the second son, had apprenticed himself to a miller. He learned to grind wheat into the finest flour, and after 3 years, his master said, "Vincent, You have served me well. As a reward, I give you this donkey." Vincent frowned at the ordinary-looking beast. "A donkey?" His master chuckled. "Not just any donkey, my boy. Say, Bricklebrit, and gold coins will tumble from its mouth." Vincent, skeptical, tried it at once, and, sure enough, the donkey shook its head and rained golden coins upon the ground. With a full heart, Vincent thanked his master warmly and set off for home, eager to share his wealth. But like his brother, on the last evening of his journey, he stopped at an inn for the night. The same cunning innkeeper, overhearing Vincent boast to the other customers about his donkey's gift, vowed that he would have this magical donkey, and he devised a plan. That night, he replaced the golden donkey with an ordinary one. The next morning, Vincent rode home triumphantly and declared, "Father, behold our fortune." He called out, "Bricklebrit," but the donkey merely twitched its ears and let out an almighty "ee-aw." The tailor groaned, "Oh, my foolish sons, you have been deceived." Vincent, heartbroken, realized he had been robbed, but there was no proof. He and Paul sat in shame, their grand promises turned to dust. August, the youngest, had chosen the trade of a woodcarver. He apprenticed under a master of fine craftsmanship. After 3 years, his master said, "August, you have worked well. As a reward, I give you this sack." August blinked. "A sack?" His master smiled. His eyes twinkled. "Indeed. But inside is a cudgel of great power. If ever you need aid, say, 'Cudgel out of the sack,' and it will leap forth and defend you." August, though puzzled, accepted the gift, thanked his master for all his kindness, and set off for home. On the way, he too stopped at an inn where his brothers had been tricked. Listening closely to the idle boasts of the innkeeper, August soon pieced together the deception. That night, he pretended to sleep, but lay in wait. When the innkeeper crept into his room, August sat up and cried, "Cudgel, out of the sack!" At once, the cudgel leaped into the air and struck the innkeeper about the head and shoulders. "Mercy! Mercy!" the thief cried, falling to his knees. August crossed his arms. "Not until you return my brother's treasures." With shaking hands, the innkeeper fetched the wishing table and the gold-spitting donkey, the cudgel chasing him all the while. Only when August had them safely did he call, "Cudgel, back in the sack." The cudgel leaped obediently into the bag, and August, whistling a happy tune, continued home. August arrived home to find his father and brothers still deep in disappointment. But he grinned and said, "Father, Paul, Vincent, do not despair." He set the table before them and commanded, "Table, be set." At once, a magnificent feast appeared. Then, leading forth the donkey, he called, "Bricklebrit," and gold spilled across the floor. The tailor wept with joy. "My sons, you have returned in glory." They celebrated with a grand feast, inviting the whole village. Soon, the family was wealthier than ever. The tailor's business flourished, as did those of his sons. The table ensured they would never go hungry. The donkey provided them with coins whenever they needed them. An august cudgel ensured that no thief dared cross them again. And so they lived in happiness, never knowing hunger or hardship again. And if ever a traveler passed through that village, they would hear the tale of the wishing table, the golden donkey, and the cudgel in the sack, a tale of fortune lost and found, of wisdom gained and justice served. The end. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed the tale tonight. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more audiobooks and tales to come. Until next time.